Hi, my name is Ellen Chen from Minchuan University. I'm very pleased to present the paper I have just completed. The title is Local College Students' Motivation and Engagement in EFL Learning Within the Context of Internationalization at Home, a Close Encounters with Students. I will present in the following. Background, purpose of the study, literature review, research questions, methods, results, and discussion. Internationalization of higher education is one of the ways a country responds to the impact of globalization. Academics in Taiwan has initiated many strategies. Among these, one specific action taken is to attract international students' participation in the education in Taiwan. Through promotion, the program called Study in Taiwan, the number of international students has reached over 78,000 in the academic year of 2013 to 2014. With the increasing numbers of international students on college campuses, the impact of a different language for both local and international students is also on the rise. To ease such an impact and to facilitate the mobility of both students and teachers, universities in Taiwan have been encouraged to create English medium instruction programs, which not only accommodate international students, but also offer local students an opportunity to interact with international students. However, such international campuses in Taiwan have also created a challenging environment for the learning of different languages for both international and local students. According to Lowe, one of the challenges for English medium instruction is closely related to the degree of readiness of students. As a result, the aim of the current study is to focus on the aspect of students, particularly in students' motivation, engagement, and perception of learning English in the context of English medium instruction. Now I'm going to talk about the larger context, which is internationalization at home. This is one aspect of higher education internationalization, the other aspect being internationalization abroad. Internationalization at home, it is a curriculum-oriented approach of internationalization at home campus. It is also a leadership and a development strategy in which international and intercultural and global dimensions are integrated into the university planning process. The purpose is to help students become interculturally and internationally competent without leaving their country to study. Activities may include regular curriculum, extracurricular activities, internships, and other scholarly activities. Now, I want to talk about the program called English Medium Instruction Programs. English Medium Instruction Program, in response to the trend of internationalization, more and more higher education institutions are adopting this kind of program. The purpose is to prepare young citizens for an ever-expanding and ever-exchanging globalized world. English medium instruction may enhance international mobility on the part of faculty and students. Such mobility results in, first, academic enhancement, number two, expansion of student recruitment, and number three, establishment of friendly relationship with associated countries. Studies in English medium instruction worldwide, I'm going to talk just a little bit, just briefly. Studies in US and Canada, where English is the general use of language in the society, usually they are content-based immersion programs. A study in Canada shows that content-based learning is not too prominent. However, students show the willingness to use English outside of the classroom. On the other hand, studies in Europe concerning EMI shows that indeed, yes, there's an increase or enhancement of English proficiency on students. However, there are also insufficient English proficiency on the part of teachers and students, resulting in more time for instructions and increased administrative support. Studies in Hong Kong concerning EMI shows that enhanced learning of Chinese, the learning of Mandarin Chinese, but the content subjects suffer. In Korea, there's overall satisfaction with English medium instruction, but insufficiency in teachers and students' English proficiency. Now, how about in Taiwan? According to Lowe, students in the program generally shows positive attitude toward the programs. All studies shows that. However, problems such as students' lack of proper proficiency to comprehend English class, lack of teacher preparation, a lack of enough administrative support, and lack of curriculum integration. Now, because I would like to see why they participate the program and why they study English. Therefore, it is necessary to take a look at L2 motivation. Okay, I have adopted Gartner's latest version of social educational model. The model suggests that motivation has a strong link to the individual's achievement in the language learning context, and that individual's motivation to learn L2 is related to two very prominent variables: integrativeness and attitude toward learning situation. Integrativeness here means individuals' openness to taking on characteristics of another cultural or linguistic group. As a result of the previous studies and the theories I've mentioned, I would like to know the answers for the following research questions. First, why Taiwanese college students participated in EMI programs? Number two, what motivates these students to study English? Number three, how do they engage in the learning of English? Number four, how do they perceive their English medium instruction programs? This is a qualitative study using semi-structured interviews. Therefore, I have invited 4 domestic college students in their junior years in college in the EMI programs for interviews. 2 from international business, the other from journalism and mass communication program. One male and 1 female each from each program. Okay. The semi-structured interview questions are very similar and related to my research question. The first one, I asked them, what made you decide to join the EMI program? Number 2, what your reason to study English, which has to do with their motivation to study English. Number 3, what do you do to improve your English in and out of class? This has to do with their involvement in the learning and the studying of English. The last question was, what are some pros and cons of EMI programs? This has to do with their perception of the program they involved in. With the collected data from the interview, I have used typology analysis. It is a strategy to develop a set of related but distinct categories, which are related to one another but not in a hierarchical way. Now here, the results for the analysis concerning research. Question 1, why students participated in EMI program? All of them show that they joined EMI program out of a desire or dream to study in an environment similar to study abroad, where English is used in and out of classroom with teachers and students. They also believe that EMI program would prepare them well for their future career. Results concerning research question 2, What motivates students to study English? This has to do with their L2 motivation. And it looks like they all show that previous positive experience in learning had very strong influence in terms of how much they wanted to learn. Okay, and their previous positive experience may include summer camp or summer trip in a country like a native English-speaking country like the United States, or even their bilingual education when they were young, etc. And then all of them show great intrinsic interest in learning English. They just love learning English. They get so interested in it. They all recognize the importance of English for their future career and for broadening their worldview. They all show strong willingness to interact with foreigners. Results concerning research question 3. What do they do in engaging English learning, the engagement of English studies, how they spend time doing it? They pretty much spend a lot of time in different aspects. For example, listening attentively to lectures, listening to English songs with lyrics. They watch movies in English. They interact and speak with students outside of the classrooms. In terms of academic work, such as homework or assignments, they ask English native-speaking classmates to help in their schoolworks. In addition, they also read extensively, such as English novels and magazines to enhance their reading proficiency, during which they would also use dictionary to look up for the words, for word meaning. Results concerning research question 4, how do they perceive the program they involved in? For the pros, they all believe that the programs they are in are so lively and interesting because there are special groups of people, of students and activities. They all believe that they're being treated well by the school because the school provides them with good facilities and enough of administrative support, etc. Okay. The third one is pretty interesting. It has to do with, they said this having students from all of the world as classmates is an asset because in the future they can travel around the world without having to spend too much money on their room and board. Okay. On the other hand, for the cons, they seem to think that some students and faculty members' English proficiency is not quite enough. Therefore, they learn less content for their regular courses. On the other hand, for practical or practicum aspect, they feel that it's not quite sufficient faculty support because sometimes faculty may not be good enough in using English to explain how to use a studio or to use special kind of machines. With the results, I have come up with a conclusion that in the following. I found that English medium instruction attracts students who are highly motivated to interact with people from different languages and cultural backgrounds. I also found that EMI program enhances students' English proficiency, especially in speaking and listening, but not quite in the content learning. Therefore, the university involved in internationalization at home using English medium instruction programs or having this kind of program involved should therefore further the faculty training and teaching skills and language proficiency. On the aspect of students, we also need to offer students more opportunity for practice, such as operations of facilities, or more opportunity for a practicum. With the enhanced student language proficiency and increased content learning and practice, I believe English medium instruction in internationalization at home context will be more successful. Thank you for your listening.